Hello everyone. Hope you're all doing great and safe. So in this video, which is continuation to the topic transportation, I have attached another video for transportation part 1 where we have talked about the main components of circulatory system or the transport system, the blood, the components of blood, types of blood vessels, and we have talked about platelets in detail. Now in today's video, which is transportation part 2, we are going to talk about the main pumping organ of our body or the circulatory system, which is heart, and the type of circulation seen in humans or mammals, double circulation, and another important circulatory system other than blood, which is lymph. So we are going to talk about these topics in this video. Okay, let's get started, children. Okay, so heart, which you can see on the screen, is the main pumping organ of our body. Of course, blood circulates or transports different things, but the blood can be circulated to each and every part of our body only when there is a pumping organ. So that pumping organ is heart. Without the function of which, the survival of humans, me or you or any animal is not possible. So we are going to talk about that heart today. Now in humans or in mammals, we have blood which carries oxygen, we have blood which carries carbon dioxide. You remember that while breathing we take oxygen and while exhaling we release carbon dioxide. Now in order to separate these two, we can't mix the blood having oxygen with the blood having carbon dioxide. So in order to separate these oxygen blood from carbon dioxide blood, we have 4 chambers in case of mammals. So heart, our pump, has 4 chambers in case of mammals. So let's see what are those. So the few short forms I have represented as RA, LA, RV, LV. Now what are these 4 chambers? Let us try to understand little in detail. Now if you see here, the upper chambers in this is chamber 1, this is chamber 2, this is chamber 3, this is chamber 4. The upper 2 chambers which you can see are called atria, in plural atrium, if you have to refer to one chamber. So the upper 2 chambers in the heart are called atria or atrium, and the one towards the left is called as left atrium. The one towards the right is called as right atrium. Right? So we have 4 chambers, out of which 2 chambers are of one type, that is atria, which are divided into right atrium and left atrium. Now always remember, this atria or atrium receives the blood, and they have comparatively thin walls when you compare with the other 2 chambers present on the lower side, and they don't have any valves which prevent backflow of blood. Now coming to the next 2 chambers which are seen at the lower side, the lower 2 chambers of heart are called as ventricle or ventricles, and similarly they are one towards the right and one towards the left, so called as right ventricle, left ventricle, and the ventricles always pump the blood to different parts of the body or to the lungs. So as they have to pump the blood, the walls of ventricles are thicker and comparatively than atria or atrium, and they have valves so that the backflow of blood is prevented. Right? So together now you should be able to give this what are 4 chambers. RA is right atrium, LA is left atrium, RV is right ventricle, LV is left ventricle. So we have upper 2 chambers atria, lower 2 chambers ventricles, left and right, together makes up 4 chambers in the human heart, which is our pump. Now why the circulation is important? What is the main purpose of it? Let's try to understand. So we have carbon dioxide rich blood in our body produced by the cells. Now this carbon dioxide has to move out of your body. So for that process, the carbon dioxide should first reach from parts of the body into lungs. And from lungs, it is removed in the process of exhalation through nose. Second reason, the oxygenated blood, the blood having oxygen from lungs. When you breathe in, the oxygen goes to lungs. So this oxygen should be supplied to each and every cell of our body. So that is pumped by heart. So that means the oxygen in the lungs has to go to heart, and heart should pump it to rest of the body parts. So for that purpose, for these two main reasons, there is a need of circulation, or there is need of pumping of blood. Now let's see how does it happen. For our easy understanding, let's make the circulation process into steps. So let's see steps of double circulation. Now, why is it called double circulation? You should be clear with it after my explanation on this. Now try to observe the figure carefully, and we will try to understand a stepwise manner. Coming to step 1. Here we have, this is a schematic representation of the circulation. This is the lungs, the capillaries in the lungs, or the blood vessels in the lungs. So when you breathe in, the oxygen reaches this capillaries. But this oxygen, as we have discussed, should go to each and every cell of your body. Lungs can't do that work directly, so it has to be done by heart. So that means the oxygenated blood or oxygen-rich blood should first go to heart. So it is going to heart with the help of a blood vessel called pulmonary vein. You remember in previous video we have talked about pulmonary vein is an exception, because generally veins carry deoxygenated blood. But here the pulmonary vein, which is bringing oxygenated blood from lungs to heart. Now in heart, where does it exactly go? It is pumped to thin upper chamber towards the left side, this area, which is left atria. So the first one to receive blood from lungs, oxygenated blood from lungs, is left atrium. Now when the left atrium is receiving the blood, it relaxes so that more space is given, so it can absorb more blood. Now what happens? This left atrium will contract. When it contracts, it pushes that blood into the chamber below it. Do you remember what is this chamber? Yes, it is ventricle. As it is on left side, it is left ventricle. So the left atrium contracts and sending the blood to the next chamber, which is left ventricle. Now when left ventricle is receiving blood, it obviously relaxes. Remember, when receiving blood, the muscles will relax. When they have to pump the blood, they will contract. Now the oxygenated blood is here in the left ventricle. Now from left ventricle, the blood goes to different parts of the body, that is each and every cell of the body, from the left ventricle with the help of blood vessels called arteries or aorta, which carry oxygenated blood from different parts of the body, from the left ventricle to different parts of the body. Now what happens here? The capillaries will supply blood having oxygen to each and every cell. So all cells will use up that oxygen and liberate carbon dioxide. So we have to remove this carbon dioxide. So these carbon dioxide produced in different cells of the body are collected by capillaries, and they join to form veins, which again join to form largest vein, which is vena cava. Now in the third step, the deoxygenated blood, or the blood having carbon dioxide otherwise, is pumped from different parts of the body to the chamber on the right side, on the upper side, which is right atrium. So it is receiving blood, that's why. Now right atrium then expands or relaxes while receiving this deoxygenated blood. Later it will contract and pump the deoxygenated blood to the right ventricle. Now the deoxygenated blood in the right ventricle has to go to lungs, if you remember. So this is done by another pulmonary blood vessel, which is artery. Again exception, pulmonary artery, generally arteries carry oxygenated blood, but pulmonary artery is carrying deoxygenated blood from the from the right ventricle into the lungs. And again, the lungs will remove this carbon dioxide and makes it oxygenated blood. And again, it will go to left atrium, left ventricle, different parts of the body, and deoxygenated blood go to right atrium, right ventricle, and again it is given to lungs. So this is how the circulation happens. Now if you see here, why is it called double circulation is, if you see, the heart is receiving blood twice in this one cycle. Once the oxygenated blood has come, that is towards the left side of the body, left atrium and left ventricle. The right atrium and the right ventricle are receiving deoxygenated blood. So 2 times the blood is getting circulated. So that's why it is called as double circulation. So this is how you have to represent in schematic form, and the arrow marks here are very important. So that's about the circulation happening, which is called as double circulation. Now, why we have to separate, or how the oxygenated blood is separated from deoxygenated blood? Let's try to understand that. So the separation of right and left sides of the heart make sure that the oxygenated blood is separated from deoxygenated blood. So that's why we have chambers in the heart. Now, why it has to be separated is because it ensures if there is proper separation of oxygen from carbon dioxide, the oxygen can be used up by the cells efficiently so that there is production of high energy. And we mammals or birds are endothermic animals, so we maintain our own body temperature. For that purpose, we need energy. So as our energy requirements are more in order to maintain the body temperature, we need more energy, and that's why there should be clear separation of oxygenated blood from deoxygenated blood. This happens in case of birds and mammals, and the blood goes twice through the heart in one cycle. That's why it is called as double circulation. Now coming to some animals which can tolerate the mixing of oxygen and carbon dioxide, like for example the ones having 3 chambers like frog, amphibians, and which have 3-chambered heart, do not use much of energy when you compare with mammals, and their temperature depends on the temperature of environment. They won't maintain their own body temperature, so that's why they tolerate some mixing of oxygen and carbon dioxide blood. And even in fish which have 2-chambered heart, they have only 2 chambers, 1 atria and 1 ventricle. The blood is pumped to the gills where it is getting oxygenated, mixed with oxygen, and passes directly to the rest of the body. And that's why if you see in the heart, the blood is circulating only once, only in one cycle, only once it passes. So they tolerate mixing of the oxygen and carbon dioxide blood because their energy requirements are very less. But mammals have to separate it because our energy requirements are more, and we maintain our body temperature by ourselves, and our temperature will not depend on surroundings. So that's why there is a need for separation of oxygenated from deoxygenated blood. Now, interestingly, other than blood, there is one more transport system in our body which is called as lymph. Okay, this is another type of fluid which helps in transportation. It's also called lymph, or it is called tissue fluid because it's basically seen in between cells of the body. Now, how exactly it is formed is from the blood. So if you see here, the blood has capillaries. So capillaries which have smaller pores are part of blood. Some amount of plasma, proteins and blood cells will move out of this capillaries into the surrounding cells. So if you see here, a tissue from this capillaries, some plasma, some protein, some blood cells escape into the spaces between the cells, and they form a fluid which is called as lymph. Now it is similar to plasma of blood, but it is colorless and it contains less protein. When you compare with blood plasma, the lymph is similar, but it is in colorless because there is no RBC coming out of it, and it contains less protein. And this lymph gets connected to lymphatic blood vessels like capillaries, blood capillaries. It's connected to lymphatic capillaries. They form lymph vessels like blood vessels and form a system called lymphatic system. And these will all get connected to the veins of the body. Now the lymph carries or performs very important function, that it carries the digested and absorbed fat in the intestine to different parts of the body, and drains excess fluid from extracellular spaces. So if there are any excess fluid, it will drain back into the blood, so there is no damage happening to the cells. So this is about the another type of circulatory system, which is lymph, which is a important concept. So that's all for this video. We will catch up with another important topic.